Join Vince and I, and even Doom's Vince, every Wednesday night at 7 Central Time on the Supervillain Network for a brand new episode of the Geekvolution Radio Hour. A full hour of intellectually stimulating discussion, or the next best thing. Apparently, Indiana Jones is not going to get recast when they make another movie.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. Unless you want to make, like, 80-year-old Indy and just not have Harrison Ford do things for most of the movie, I don't know what the point is.
I don't know what the point is either. I mean, I guess it's and I don't mean to be morbid when I say this, but, like, what are we going to do when he inevitably either just can't do it anymore or passes away? Like, are we just not going to make any more? Is that when we reboot it? Like, does that need to happen before good Indiana Jones movies can get made? Because I just feel like, again, I don't mean to be morbid, I'm just saying that, like, I'm not saying you couldn't make a great script with an elderly Indiana Jones necessarily, but, like, it really should. You know, people keep evoking Bond, and the producer the main producer that does these movies was like, yeah, it's not gonna be like Bond, and I'm like, why?
Dan Torrey and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, and the big comparison we have is that part of the reason Han Solo works so well is because of Harrison Ford's personality. Indiana Jones works whether or not Harrison Ford is playing him. That's a universe, and that's a characterization, and that's an atmosphere you can build around anything. Captain America: The First Avenger is an Indiana Jones movie, really. So keeping him around just doesn't seem like a necessary condition for an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see why you're saying that. I also can sort of see the other side. I think a lot of people think that Harrison Ford, kind of created that character from the ground up, and I see why you'd say that Captain America is an Indiana Jones movie, but it's about different things, and it's centered around a character that is very, very different from that character. I guess what I'm saying is, there's not necessarily one Bond. I mean, everybody has their favorite, but that's a character that was created without an actor. The distinction is that was a character that was adapted. Indiana Jones was a character that was created around Harrison Ford and was calling back to and homaging adventure serials. My big problem with not recasting it, and I've always said this, is that's a character that shouldn't age. You're showing a clear lack of understanding about what the material is, and you risk it always looking like nothing but money milking and just relying, as we so often do, on brand recognition. That's all it is now.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones is a bit of a mythology. It's like Star Wars in that way of, if you boil it down, you get rid of specific names and such, it's just a classic hero's journey story on film every time. And every generation needs to have that. That's just the way the story structure works. And Indiana Jones is a fun character to keep some of those 70s male fantasy novels alive, some of those 40s adventure serials and stuff alive. And you don't really need Harrison Ford. And the moment you do that, it's like you said, you're just milking it on that actor. And people have to understand by now, they should know by now, Harrison Ford doesn't really like doing this anymore. Harrison Ford has kind of become a grouchy old man about a lot of those things. And he was like that even in his prime. Like, he hated making Blade Runner. He wanted to die in the first Star Wars movie. It seems like if you're going to bring him back, it's going to be begrudgingly.
Character to die in that movie. I'm sorry, what?
I'm just saying, if you bring him back, it's going to be begrudgingly. It's because you cut a really big paycheck and he couldn't say no. It's not because he wants to do it.
Look, you mentioned that Harrison Ford's character of Indy should be more like James Bond, but they also did the same thing with Jack Ryan. He's played by several different people, kind of in his prime, and that's another movie series that just rocks. That just the Jack Ryan character is that character no matter who's playing him. Granted, you're going to get some people who don't play him that great, or some people who play him wonderfully, but it's a character that doesn't age per se.
But once again, I think the distinction that people on the other side are making and thinking that it has to be Harrison Ford every time is that, once again, that's a character that was adapted from something.
Right, and Harrison Ford is pretty iconic.
Yeah, and so I mean, like, I sympathize with that to a degree, but I could see that as an argument for not making any more over making more with him.
Right, but also at the same time,
if that makes any sense. Now, I still say just recast, but like, it needs to even continue to take place in the same historical time period, I think.
I think
Right.
part of the problem though is with certain things like say Back to the Future. Part of that is you don't want to remake that or recast it because it's a zeitgeist thing. No matter how many decades go by, there's a historical context that makes those movies work even more than they already do. Indiana Jones
Yeah,
isn't
and
that.
it's timeless and it always works, and you don't want it set in another time period
Yeah,
necessarily.
exactly. Indiana Jones is not that. Indiana Jones is built on a tradition. Indiana Jones is not a fresh original creation as much as he's just a melting pot of things that are already established.
Yeah,
So
and what
what's
hurts it is,
better, having Indiana Jones movies that are like five in a row with Harrison Ford, that with two that are horrible because he doesn't want to be there, or just
yeah,
constantly having Indiana Jones movies?
Indiana Jones
I'm with you.
is also an archaeologist in the golden age of
Yeah.
archaeology, like at this time. So you really wouldn't want to bring him closer to New Age because the same stuff's just not going on. You can't go gallivanting across the globe in the same way you could during that time
Yeah, and it
period.
just stopped. Once we introduce more modern technology, it just stops being the same kind
What's
of
he gonna?
fun.
He's gonna take a plane over to Egypt and find the tomb of whoever. Like that's not Indiana
Yeah,
Jones,
he's gonna like triangulate his
right?
position
He's
with
gonna.
his iPhone, and
You want Indiana Jones to see a plane, a biplane, hop into the darn thing and just figure out how to fly it. You don't want him whipping out his GPS on his smartphone saying, "Oh, there's that geocache somebody
yeah,
left
I
for
mean,
me."
part of it is just it's that perfect time,
Mm-hmm.
it's that perfect setting. But Steve, to what you were talking about, part of the problem is we've already screwed that tradition with the last one. So, like, the most recent one they made, they already got away from everything about what that made that work. The main thing being, we pretended like we made a trilogy where there was some sort of the like thread and like emotional development or something, and we've got to like tie all that together now with this new movie. That movie made it clear that we have like lost sight of what those were. It's again, like Bond, and maybe Jack Ryan to a degree, what it is this, we have new adventures with the same character who really doesn't have to change very much. It's not really about that. And what really confuses me is why are the people in charge not looking at that as the failure that it was, Steve? We're just going to make the same mistake.
Yeah, I mean, no one likes that movie. It was a box office
Why don't we
disaster.
just
It's considered one of the worst movies ever made. Going in that direction just seems really counterintuitive.
Now, once again, I'm not saying that you can't make a great, that you can't like fix those mistakes, but I feel like it's actually a bigger risk to use Harrison Ford. They're probably thinking, oh, we got to have the actor or nobody's going to go. I don't think so.
I don't think
Yeah, I
so
don't think
either.
I
so.
I think an Indiana Jones reboot makes so much sense right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna make that movie, cast Chris Pine, not Chris Pine, what's his name, Star Lord,
Yeah, and
Chris
that's
Pratt.
and
yeah,
then
Chris Pratt,
and
cast Chris Pratt, and if you want Harrison Ford, make him Indy's dad.
yes, I agree. I mean, I think Chris Pine could play it too, but I think
I actually liked that suggestion when you said it. I
when
was
you
there
accidentally
too.
said that, yeah, but no, that's somebody a lot of people want, and now that we've seen him in Jurassic World in this in this kind of like safari garb, I think just him in that costume made a lot of people like, holy crap, he's Indiana Jones, and yeah, and he's like the perfect age to play it now. He could probably do it for like 6 movies,
Yeah,
4 or 6 movies. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, he's the guy, and it's high because Chris Pratt's been picking such good projects, and people love him now. It's high time he got like a mega franchise like that where he played some iconic. I mean, I know he's got Jurassic World, but I don't know how much of the success of that is going to continue to be Pratt and how much of it's just dinosaurs. Like, I kind of want to see him play like an iconic character or a character that he can make iconic.
yeah,
Well,
and I mean,
look,
it would just be the perfect time going forward because now Star Wars is back, James Bond is back. Having Indiana Jones in the mix would make this whole 70s, 80s nostalgia trip just a little bit better.
And I think that's a thing that you can continue to make fresh again. I don't think, I mean, like, we've continued. I don't mean to keep going back to this, but we've continued to make Bond all this time. I don't think we have to look at it as, oh God, we're just banking on nostalgia again. You go to the timeless properties that we ought to be able to keep around forever. We have some of those.
Yeah.
Here's the
Right? This is one. I mean, Star Wars is one of the. This is potentially one of those. A lot of superhero stuff is like that. This is one of those things. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. But you can find ways to make it fresh again.
You're right in this one aspect that I mentioned Jack Ryan, but he would be closer to Bond in the fact that you have stints of the same actor playing Bond, and they're all kind of standalone stories. So it's not necessarily true
that sometimes
progression.
build on what came before.
Right,
I
they
mean,
can build on them, but at the same time, you're building on them in the sense that, yeah, they're all stories that Bond went through. They're not all stories that Sean Connery went through necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
So I agree with that in that context as well. We had three. I'll say we had three Harrison Ford indie movies, and we can strike the fourth one and just go from there.
Yeah,